I'm looking for all the baddies all over the world. Ladies, where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Way bad. Where my baddies at? I'm bad, you bad. Way bad. Where my baddies at?
Welcome to the Not So Secret Lives podcast. I'm your host, Shan.
And I'm your host, Karina.
And today we are talking about what men and women like in the bedroom. This is going to be a very explicit episode. We are going to get to the nitty gritty of what men and women have told us about what they like, their sexual kinks and things that they like in the bedroom. So if that's not your jam and you don't want to listen, I totally get that. Just skip on to the next episode. But I would like to start by saying that we are not here to shame anyone. This is a totally judgment-free zone. We are just here to talk about things that might be really taboo to some people, but to us, it's just kind of like that beautiful expression of yourself through sex.
Well, and I think putting it out there and talking about it might make other people more comfortable talking about it too. And you're getting an in-depth look of what Shannon and I kind of talk about on a daily basis.
Literally.
Girl talk a little bit,
It's
right?
like all we talk about.
Yeah.
And dating.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It is amazing. And today we actually have a very special guest. We are giving him a nickname. So we have Snapchat Guy.
Hello.
And he is going to give us his perspective from like the male's point of view on like sex and things in the bedroom and things like that. Obviously, we're not speaking for all women. He's not speaking for all men. We're just kind of giving you our points of view from, well, for Karina and I, it's things that we have reached out to people and the feedback that we've gotten from them. And for Snapchat Guy, he's just, do whatever you and your bros talk about. I think that girls talk about sex more than guys do.
I want to say that we do.
Yeah.
It's
Do you just sit with your bros and talk about sex?
I mean, as I've got older, I don't think it's as much.
Yeah. I think as I've gotten older, it's been more.
I don't think we talk about like actual, like the sexual experiences as much as like, oh, look at that girl's hot, like I'd like to fuck her or something
Really?
along those lines. But I would say it's not as like in depth, I feel like, as women get.
Yeah.
I feel like women like the details and the everything. I feel like men are very like on to the next.
I do feel like it was like a teenage boy kind of
Because when
thing.
we were younger, it was like, and we're very like, we couldn't wait.
Oh,
Right?
for
It's
sure.
the coolest thing in the world. So it's just kind of like the difference of like man and woman when they're younger.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true.
I think as I've got older, it's very,
Yeah.
not as much, I would say. It's more of like,
That's so funny because, with Shannon and I, we'll go on dates and she will call me or I will call her after our dates. And it is very much so, tell me everything.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we'll go in detail, how the date went, if anything sexual happened, if we made out. And it is detailed.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so much fun to talk about, I think. But I agree. In my younger years, like, I didn't talk about it.
And that's why I am like so sex positive with my kids. And I always have been. I've came up in a very sex positive household. I have talked to my kids about sex in a very positive way. I have 2 older boys and I have told them like, we do not slut shame. We do not sex shame. If I ever hear you calling a girl a slut or a whore, I will slap it right out of your mouth. And they just know better anyway.
But they're gentlemen too.
They might
Hard to be.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's permission, like,
Yes.
even for a kid. And it's good to have that kind of parenting with young men and young women.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
It does for sure.
I feel like asking permission to kiss, that's something I've always done. And I felt like a lot of people have always,
It's
that's
so
a
good.
weird thing.
It's
I
not.
feel like sometimes, I don't know, like when I was younger and like going on dates, it's like, I would ask, is it weird that I'm asking you?
No.
Like, because
It's so good.
a lot of people, like, you watch movies,
I do get that
shit,
though.
and you think it's just like,
Mhm.
when's the right moment? I'm going to just pull the move where it's like, I don't know if that's real life.
Let's get into it. Let's start talking about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
We can maybe start off talking about the people that we've reached out to, men and women, and kind of what they've told us what they like in the bedroom.
Yeah, we can blend our own stories into it, and then you can give your feedback on what you think about what we've heard. And if anything surprises you, there was one thing that came out. We did the poll on Instagram. And ended up looking at it.
Yeah, I looked at a little bit of it.
Yeah. So the one that really, really surprised me was the cuckold thing.
Yeah.
And how down people were with the cuckold thing. Like, I didn't even know what that was until like 6 months ago.
I had to Google it.
I did too. I really did. There was a guy I was talking to that was super into it. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, it's like watching your partner have sex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it
Go getting off on it.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
How do you feel about that?
not my cup of tea. Like, I'm very,
Yeah.
very protective, I think.
Oh, okay. I
The once in a while.
I
Like,
love that.
I feel like, I don't know, that's just very, I feel like you're asking for a lot of problems if you're in a relationship. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just like sexually, like, I guess you could, I don't even know if I could do like a swinger thing with a girl that I'm just like,
Right.
fuck
That you're really into.
Yeah.
I think that's why we were so surprised at. I mean, I thought that it would be like maybe 5%, but
Yeah.
that was the percentage.
Yeah. So let me just go ahead and tell you how many people are actually into it from the people that did the poll. 42% said yes.
That's insane.
42% are totally down with it. 58% were like, it's not for me. When I saw those numbers,
Yeah.
I was like, not a lot of things surprised me. I was like, oh, I got some kinky people. I love this for us.
well, and are a lot of your followers from Utah?
I don't know. Probably a majority of them are from Utah.
Because Utah's pretty known for swingers.
Yes.
It's like a very big like swinger state, and there's like a swinger community in Draper, and like
Oh, all over.
swinger like gym, and so it's a very like I have multiple friends that are very big into
Well, that makes sense
go
then.
to swinger parties.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big community out here.
I love
But
it.
swinger and cuckold they're similar, but they're not the same
Well, because
Not the same, but I would say they're in the same like
realm.
realm of
Yeah.
like. I feel like you have to have the kink to like actually just watch and not be with another partner, but I feel like they're probably. I feel like they'd be one in the same almost.
yeah, no, I get that. But yeah, but in the same realm.
Yeah.
The experience that I had, the person that I was talking to, dating, whatever, didn't want to watch. He wanted me to go have sex with other people, and then he wanted me to tell him about it when we were having sex, and tell him like how much better the other person was, and like how much bigger his dick was, and like all of this other shit. And he was like so into it, and I was like, this is fucking not for me.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's not even weird. It's just not for me.
He didn't even have to be in the same room.
He didn't want to be in the same room.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's a little bit different from the swingers, because the one cuckold guy that I talked to as well, we've never even met. And he would just want to hear about my experiences with other men.
Yeah.
Buy me lingerie.
He did buy you lingerie.
He did. He bought me some panties because we were talking, and I told him that I was going to meet up with a guy that night, a guy that I had been dating. And he's like, can I please buy you panties for tonight? And I was like, okay. And he did. He ordered them. I went and picked them up at Victoria's Secret, and like it was so hot for him. I have still never met him to this day. We still talk every once in a while, and he's still like, are you dating anybody? Can I buy you some lingerie? And I was like, I feel bad, but it turns him on.
It's around it for me.
But and that's why I'm saying it's a little bit different from the swingers. Like, and it's different with cuckold too. Like, there's different levels of it, but the two that we've experienced, I guess, has been completely removed from being in the same room. It's just that they get off on knowing that you're doing something with somebody else, and they want to hear about it.
This couple.
I don't think that swingers are in the same room.
Yeah, the swingers are more like they go
Sometimes.
dates.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I don't know. There's like a lot of different rules.
Oh,
It's a broad spectrum. Like, I
Like a
know
lifestyle.
it is.
totally.
It is. And I've heard different versions of all of it. Being in the same room, not being in the same room, dating other people, not dating other people. A lot of rules, a lot of communication. You have to have that. But yeah, I still do feel like they're a little bit more different
Yeah.
in that realm.
The cuckold,
Yeah.
like I had a couple, like a couple that I knew and I worked with, and I had a friend tell me, he's like, dude, the guy called me up and said, come over. And when I went over there, he's like, I want you to fuck my girl. I'm gonna go grab food. And he was like, what?
That's amazing for your friend.
Great for my friend.
It's real. Great for all parties. It sounds
But yeah,
to me, it's amazing.
bastard.
Yeah. And if people, I just love so much when people are so comfortable with themselves and with their sexuality, and they're so comfortable telling people their kinks. It's just so amazing to me because, I mean, we're all so individual in so many different ways, especially with sex. When I met the cuckold guy, I had never heard of it, but then it was like they were coming out of the woodworks.
Right.
Like almost every day I talked about with, I was like, are you guys like all in a group?
You met one and you met them all.
It was like a magnet for the cuckold guys.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So, I mean, and kind of along those same lines with like swingers and with the cuckold stuff, another thing that we did a poll on was open relationships. And 23% of people said yes, and then 77% said no. I kind of go back and forth on it.
I do too.
Because I'm like you, I get very like territorial. And I think if I was like really into someone, I would be like, yeah, no, fuck that.
Gets pretty selfish in the relationship,
But they're into it.
but they're into it.
And so that's like their thing, and they are all about it.
But I could not.
I have a girlfriend who loves it. She wants everyone and their fucking mom to have sex with her boyfriend.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why it's scary. It's so individual. It's so what you like and what you don't like. And it's okay to not like certain things, I guess. Like the open relationship thing. I've dabbled. I think we've all kind of dabbled or like thought about it.
That's dating.
It is. I know, right? We are all in a relationship right now, but dating,
We're all in an open relationship.
Yes.
If you are dating multiple people, you are in open relationships.
And how does that make you feel sometimes?
Well,
You really
yeah, when I start getting the feels for something,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like this anymore.
Yes.
I'm not having fun anymore.
You can be good. You can be like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I really like you. I really like you. And then you like him. You're like, it's not fine anymore.
I'm not okay.
I'm not okay. Changes on a flip of a dime. Like,
Yeah.
it's ultimately, I don't think I could be in an open relationship because I'm selfish and I'm territorial and am I jealous? I feel like I can be jealous.
I'm pretty jealous. If I'm with someone, I'm jealous. I denied it for so many years.
I think I'm pretty jealous.
I'm pretty
I
jealous.
think it's okay to be jealous. Like,
I think so too.
I think like they say I'm not jealous because of like people think it's like
Toxic.
Well, there's like a healthy jealous, and then there's an unhealthy.
they're definitely
Yes.
There's a possessive
a possessed,
jealous and then yeah.
but I could not handle a relationship.
I couldn't either.
I just think it gets to a point where it's like, are you really in a relationship with
Yeah.
partners out there?
I think on what you said, I think you could handle it for a little bit, but it's not like a long-term thing.
That's not a long term.
I know.
Like if you wanted like a life with someone, that's what
Yeah.
you stay.
I know a few people who have been in those and they've all ended badly, whether it has been a year or 10. It's not.
I just had someone I know that had ended badly, and they did it for a while, and I think that the only way I could see it happening for me is if I was like married for like 15 years and it was like the sex was starting to get to a point where it was like we were not finding a connection or finding new ways to keep, and it was like, okay, maybe we try that. I don't know
Yeah.
how that.
It's a means to an end, though, too, at that point.
You're right.
Yeah. I don't think I could do it. I don't know. I was like sitting here thinking about it, and I just like,
I think we both tried at one point.
yeah.
I know I did, and here's what my problem was. It wasn't even an open relationship; it was a polyamorous relationship, which is kind of open. And
pretty much.
I did not like being not being the primary.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be number one. I know that sounds so bad, but like I did not like being the second. I did not like being like, oh, well, I have this going on with her this weekend. Maybe I'll see you. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No, like I'm first, you know? Like that's the point where I'm like, yeah, no, can't do that. I have to be number one.
That's me too.
Yeah.
100%. I'm a brat. Everybody who has dated me or knows me knows I'm a brat. Like, I want the attention. Give me the attention. I want all the attention. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty gritty of like the topic here. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about things that people love, maybe not love so much. Yeah, let's get it going. So what's one of the main things that you heard from people?
Oh man. Okay, so from women mostly being submissive in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And kind of letting go of control, letting go of everything, being vulnerable. I know that this is not
so good. Okay.
It's not.
I didn't realize that until tonight.
Yeah. So Shannon and I were having a conversation for tonight and we were talking about it. And I was telling her, I love to be submissive in the bedroom to a point where it is almost like they say good girl to me.
No,
I
they tell you,
or they tell me,
call them daddy.
well,
and you're like, yes, king. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. And Shan, I was talking to Shan and she was like, fuck that shit. I would slap him. And I was like, oh,
okay, but it's okay. Not
in your head. It's not for you.
I thought it was though. My whole life.
I know.
I've thought, and then talking to you tonight about it and you telling me things and I'm like, I would punch him in the fucking dick if he said that to me. And I was like, oh my God, I think I'm dominant.
I think you are. I think Shan
I have a very dominant personality.
I think
I want to lean into it so bad.
You can't.
No.
And it's okay. It's not for everybody.
I think when I think of submission, I think of like, I want a man to take control of the bedroom. That to me is submission. I love that.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
And my kind of submission is like kneel down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, take this. And I was like, yes, sir. That's my kind of submission, which I love. But your kind is him just
doing what he wants to be. Being like, okay, yes, daddy.
You just said.
I know. But it's true. I mean, like, but thinking of that, like, that makes my fucking skin crawl. If someone told me to get on my knees and like say yes, sir, I would be like, are you out of your fucking mind? You get on your knees.
And I am the opposite.
It's never been a problem in the bedroom, and maybe it's because I'm so into it, I don't recognize it.
Well, any stories that you told me in the bedroom for you, yes, you like control, yes, you like all that, but it has not been my experiences where it is complete submission to the point where, like on our last podcast, where you were like, are you okay? Type of thing.
Yeah.
I was nervous, but I love it.
It's like that. What's that book called? The Sleeping Beauty one.
Oh, The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty.
The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty. I don't know.
My favorite book.
A third of the way through it, and I was like, God, Karina's gonna fucking love this. He was like making her crawl naked through like a restaurant pub thing on a leash, and I'm like, I gave it to her. I didn't even finish it.
I did love it, and I bought the
whole series. Like, do you want women to be like, yes, sir, and like, you want to be able to like tell them what to do, or are you more dominant in the way that I'm like submissive?
I would say a little bit of both, depending on like the partner I've had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I don't know, at first when I was like younger, I was like, oh, calling me daddy's a little weird. Like, I feel like it does turn me on if like it's just said and we're just in the moment.
And it's organic and it just happens.
Can
I preface?
Yeah.
I don't say daddy. I say sir or their name. I don't like the daddy thing.
And I will
personally.
I'll be honest.
Go ahead.
I like being like when a girl like texts me yes sir or something. Like, I like that shit.
Yeah.
Well, I always do that, but I don't think it's a sexual. I just like, I am proper and I say yes. And I say yes, sir. I'm something down on the other end is like, fuck yeah.
But I also am pretty proper too. Like I always man. I don't know if I've ever had someone so submissive as like getting on your knees and like worshiping.
I think that's a kink that you have though.
I think that's like a whole nother level of like being dominated.
Yeah.
Like when a girl says, most girls from my experience have said, I like to be dominated. I don't think a lot of women from my experience know how to dominate. Like,
no, I think you're absolutely right.
That is one thing that in asking men what they want in the bedroom, they like being dominant, but they also would very much like to be submissive as well. But I think you're right. It takes a certain type of woman, and I don't know any personally that can be. I mean, that dominant. She could be.
but I think
And they have the best.
scared, like not scared, but they're just not comfortable enough sexually
Yeah.
to be like, I'm in charge.
That's a whole different.
I'm gonna take over, right? Like
Shan could do that.
where I think like naturally, like gender roles in some form.
Yeah,
Totally. The man takes control. Like,
yeah.
You know, like it's always like a guy fucks a girl.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
Shan could be like this dom and like lazy.
Like it's being dominatrix. Yeah, totally.
I could totally see that for you.
Yeah.
I personally like being submissive because it's like a letting go of control thing for me.
Mhm.
I think we've talked about it in the last few podcasts. Like,
And that
I think,
feels so uncomfortable to me.
well, I'm in control of every other aspect of my life, and I like in the bedroom, like to be told what to do, to be told how to do it, and like really, really that submissive thing. But like you were saying, like getting on your hands and knees and doing all that, I love that. It feels sexy to me. I'm turned on, but also at the same time, when I am doing that with a partner, I'm very much still in control. I can still tell them like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, of course.
I can stop it, but that's also being with a partner that's understanding of that, and I guess that's the word.
Trust.
Yeah, trust and like feeling safe in the bedroom. That's another thing. Like for women, feeling safe in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
You have to feel completely safe with that person in order to be that submissive, I think. And so that's a big thing for me.
Yes. No, that's.
And I think for other women, feeling safe.
Well, yeah. I mean, and all of this ties back into what you said about like being confident and having like a level of confidence. And in my opinion, and from people that I've talked to, and we've been doing our research on this, and we've been like reaching out to people, and confidence is like 75% of a good time in the bedroom.
No, yeah.
Because if you're confident and you're not in your head, it's going to be such a good experience.
Mm.
Women get in their head so much about like, a lot of women don't like being on top because they're like, oh my God, the angle of my face, my stomach, my boobs, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, men don't fucking care. Like they look at you and they're like, this goddess.
I mean, we've already got to that point. Like, so
Yeah.
looking at a girl and being like, God, like, hell's going on here?
Yeah, just like we don't look at dudes that way when we're having sex.
We've already got to that point. We've established the attraction, and
Yeah.
we're already having sex at that point.
But it's sad because women will go like entire relationships with never having an orgasm because they're so uncomfortable with themselves.
I've heard that, and I think that is insane.
It is insane.
That was me. I was so in my head.
Really?
Oh yeah, like in my younger years, before like I got the confidence to communicate what I wanted in the bedroom or what I didn't want in the bedroom, or even orgasming. Like I was so in my head to like, how do I look? How do I sound? How do I feel? How do I like all of the things? And I was so in my head that I could not get off. And it was so frustrating. And now like in my older years and being more confident and being more sexual, it's not a problem.
Right.
At all. Because I'm just like, I don't fucking care. I'm like, this feels so good.
Yes, I know.
It's amazing.
That's the thing. If women I say women because I feel that it's more women. I know that there are men who also get self-conscious, but if women could just, and the men that are self-conscious, if you could just like lean into it and just like actually know that this is an experience that you're having with somebody that you're interested in enough to have sex with, it.
Yeah.
It will be it will be so much better if you just lean in. Don't think about anything. Just think about the sex that you're having and like let your body feel that and let your body feel good about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you will both orgasm.
You will both orgasm. And that is another thing that I'm going to actually segue right into is that when you are feeling that confident, it like bleeds off of you into the other person. If the other person can feel how confident you are, and that goes with eye contact, and that is huge for me in the bedroom. Do you like to make eye contact in the bedroom? It's like so passionate and just like sexy, and it just, I feel like it changes the whole experience.
It does.
It's such a vulnerable thing.
It is such a vulnerable thing. And again, going back to my younger years, I always kept my eyes closed.
Really?
Oh yeah. It wasn't until like probably the past like 10 years where I'm like, okay, gonna do it, and it's so much better. And I've heard from both men and women, they love the eye contact in the bedroom, whether you're in a relationship or dating. It enhances it for sure.
Do you feel that way too? Do you think that men feel that way too, or do you think that most men are just like, yeah, okay, we're here to get her?
Yeah, like so say you're 3 dates in, you're not in a relationship, but you guys have sex that night. Like, would you want the eye contact?
Even just like a one night stand, like, would you?
I mean, I feel like in a one night stand, I don't know how much I've like concentrated on that or like thought about it even,
right?
Of like one of my moves, you could say, or like what I think. But like
that's another thing. It also has to happen organically for sure.
Like I feel like, but like when you're having sex with someone, like, because I feel like a lot of times sex is better after you kind of connected.
Absolutely.
You know, like, so one night stands are very hard on a connection level of like eye to eye contact.
Yeah. Right.
Even thinking about it, I would say, because you're more there to fucking get off, I think.
Oh, yeah.
On one night stands where you're not really thinking about that level. But I feel like when you're connected, you're like, you know, eye contact, especially when you're in eye contact and you start feeling them, you know, like.
You feel it throughout the whole body.
And you guys are starting to feel like closer and closer.
So there is this thing called the battery effect. And when two people have sex, it's basically like, especially when you're making eye contact and you're having sex with someone, it's like a flow of energy that goes through your body, like from your eyes down to your genitals. And it just is like this circular motion of energy that's like spinning through you, and you can feel that. Like if you are into someone and the eye contact is there and this whole experience is happening, and there's like a lot of health benefits too. Look up the battery effect. I will link it in the notes. It's so rad. It's such a cool thing.
Health benefits.
Yeah,
I love it. Sex is healthy.
Sex is healthy. Should do it more often.
Yes.
Go
ahead.
No, I was just gonna. I don't feel like a majority of men think about it the way that maybe women do. But when it does happen, it's like a very like.
Because I'll tell you, probably my last relationship, I'd say, like once when we made eye contact at that level, and I'm like on top or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and you're getting off, you probably come harder. And
yeah.
And as you're coming, I feel like instantly it'll.
Oh yeah. Yes.
You guys come.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's another thing. Orgasm together was both on the men and the women. Like, I think it doesn't always have to be that way, but when it does happen, it's amazing.
It's like a whole other.
It's a whole other level of intimacy.
Bonding experience.
Yes. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a whole other level of like.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know. I'm just like,
Shan's twiddling her hair right now, like getting all ooh.
I hate that sex is so taboo among not everyone, obviously, but like I I wish it would just be talked about more in like a more beautiful way than in such like a taboo.
Well, because it is beautiful, I think. It's a beautiful thing. You have a beautiful experience with somebody, you connect with someone. Even if it doesn't last in a relationship, I feel like you can still have really great experiences with people that you have connections with. And I mean, in the dating world, you have different experiences with different people. And I feel like if you're on that level of vulnerability and connection, it can be so amazing. It can be so great. And you don't feel bad about it. I don't think you should ever feel bad about it, but like you go away thinking like, that was an amazing experience. And I'm so glad that I had it and just not feeling shamed or weird about it, I guess.
Well, and that's the thing is like, you don't even have to talk about it. Like, it's not like we're saying, oh my God, you have to talk about sex, but don't shame yourself. Like in your life, like don't shame yourself for having a good experience with someone, even if it was just one night, even if the dude ghosts you the next day, like that's not your fault. It's just him being a douche.
And vice versa.
And well, no, absolutely vice versa. I'm guilty of that. And I'm mainly just saying, don't shame yourself in your own mind. You shouldn't shame yourself over sex. I mean, it's just...
I just don't... I think, especially like growing up in Utah, like sex was such a different thing, right? Like, where it's like it shouldn't... It is a big deal, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal where it's like, if you want to have sex with someone, you're an adult, you want to have sex with someone, and it was that one time... Why would anyone care? And why is it that big?
Right.
I've never understood that, you know, and
that's good. You're very much on our page.
I've seen women, especially like in Utah culture, where it's like they'll have sex and they like will beat themselves up about it.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Like, it's like, why? Like it's so great, but I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be a better person. Like, well, that doesn't make
you're a great person. Yeah.
You know,
in what way was something wrong?
People gravitate towards me for whatever reason. People like to talk to me. They like to open up to me. I talk to people about sex, mainly women. I talk to a lot of women about sex. I'm not like a sex therapist or anything. I should be. But my whole point anytime I talk to women about sex is just like, just let yourself go. Don't feel shame within yourself because you feel like you're not doing this the right way or you're not doing that the right way or you wish you could have replayed this. I'm like, just be so comfortable in your own skin that you are having the best experience while you're in the bedroom or while you're having sex. Even if you're getting railed over a balcony, like, you know, don't feel any kind of way about it.
That's what you like. That's what you like. And that's the thing, going back to you, Snapchat guide, and growing up in Utah, growing up very, very LDS, like we were talking about in Utah County, and having that shame over it. I think it took me a very long time to get out of my head and get over feeling shameful about it and feeling shamed for liking it.
Yeah.
And again, it wasn't until like probably my 30s that I was like, you know what? I like sex. I always have. It's not a bad thing. I'm loving it. They're loving it. There's no reason for me to feel shamed about it. And ever since I did that, sex has been so amazing. I orgasm all the time, multiple times, like, and it's just so fun.
It's fun. It should be fun. It should be a really fun experience.
It should be a fun experience. You shouldn't.
Stress relief. Like,
yeah.
Like,
totally.
That and yeah.
Also, like fun, but like, you know, it's natural. It's something that everyone needs.
Yeah.
The reason, like, if you don't come, like men will have wet dreams.
Yeah.
Or have sex.
Yeah.
Like grown men.
It's a huge outlet, especially for men.
Yeah, so it's like
maybe that's why I wake up in the morning. I'm like, I am so turned on right now for no reason at all. Like, you know,
we both did like a head tilt, and I cannot wait to watch that back. That's gonna be amazing.
I think it's more of a stress reliever for guys, and just because like you actually release.
It is an action, like a physical release.
Like for women, it's like women can have,
unless we're a squirter, then that's kind of a release, like a physical release. She's a squirter, so I can cut this.
But no, but I wasn't always. It didn't happen until after I had kids. And I was like, what the fuck is happening to me right now? And the guy I was with, he was like, you just squirted. I was like, no, I didn't. That's not possible. I've never done that before in my life. He's like, oh, you did. And I was like,
you know what is another crazy thing that I absolutely love, and I was so happy that people were so open about with us? Kinks. Kinks. Again, I think I view sex in such a different way because of the way that I grew up and the way that it was always just like so when people are like, what are your kinks? I'm like, I don't know if I have any. And then I'll tell them things and they're like, that's a kink. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I do. Woo. Yeah, let's, they're not even, they're just like things that I really, really like. I really like being choked. Obviously not to where I can't fucking breathe, but there's like this level of like, it's a perfect amount and it's so good. And I fucking love it. That's why I say I like when a man can take control, but if a man is like telling me, it's this thing of like, I don't like being told what to do.
What kind of spanking do you like?
Just like hand spanking.
Okay.
But to be fair, I've never been spanked with anything else.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you think about like choking girls or being choked? I know a lot of men that like to be choked.
I don't like my neck touched.
You don't? Okay. Flannets.
Very like...
It's like making him so uncomfortable. He's hugging the pillow.
Like, I don't know. That's just not my thing. But like choking a girl, like, I feel like most women want you to do it. Like,
really? Okay.
So I feel like that's a pretty common.
I think it is.
It is. That's what I got.
It is. Yeah, for sure.
I think I've had wives passed out before. I'm like,
what?
You should wake up and be like, keep going.
Yeah, you go, girl. I love that.
I love it.
And do you like spanking?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Just with your hand or with...
I've never done it with anything. I've never really had a ton of things in the bedroom where it's like tools.
Yeah. Those sex tools.
Yeah.
That's what we start calling them from now on.
Tools.
I'm going to call them sex tools from now on. No more sex toys. Sex tools. Tools. Hashtag sex tools. Yeah. What about you, Karina? You like me? Well, obviously, you've established you like being choked and you like spanked.
I love being choked.
You like to be choked with things, though? Or just like no girls that like to belt around.
I've worn a collar before, but no, I like being choked. I've gone down on a guy where he'll kind of like hold me down and I'm not choking, but can't breathe really.
Like gagging.
Yeah, a little bit. So I like that.
I love that. What it goes.
Do you? Okay. The spanking thing is probably my favorite. And I like the open hand. I like the whips. I like the flogs. I like the paddles. I love it all. And that is where, like, Shannon and I were talking about.
She has been black and blue, and I am not kidding you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, how hard do you like to be spanked?
Me, very hard.
Because for me, it's like sometimes I'm like, was that a little rough? It's like I have bigger hands, I guess you could say.
You do. You've got some very meaty paws.
So it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, was that,
My ass was black and blue. And red.
It was like her fucking trophy. She was like, look at this. I was like,
look at this. Yes. See, I've had a girl.
It's like, God damn.
Spanked that hard.
Oh, well, it wasn't from the Spanx. It was from, well, it was, but he had used a whip that I have that I own.
It wasn't from the whip.
The little lines on my ass were from the whip, but then like the big bruises were from a paddle that he used. And
but he's like rearing back into fun on last year's.
So you know what? You're like into like dom.
Yeah. Like whips and chains and handcuffs and
being tied down. All of that.
That ain't me. Okay, I like being tied up.
See, and I feel like I've had like a lot of sexual experiences that are wild, but not at that level.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the kinkier it gets, the more turned on I get.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know at that level a lot of those things that I've never.
It's all about communication. Like really, like just asking your partner what they're into.
It is about communication. And with this specifically, this experience, like we had talked about it. we realized that we were on the same page. And it's not just like a willy-nilly kind of thing. Like, it takes preparation. Like, I was tied down. There were things happening. There were tools, as you would say, being used. Like, it was a whole production, basically. Like, it was planned out. And I was still just as turned on then, like, in the anticipation of it, as I would be if it were just like on the fly, I guess.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Short answer. Love being staged.
So to this point, though, I actually did do a poll on choking, and 76% of people loved it, and 18% of people said it wasn't for them, and 6% of people said that they were partial. But I also did one on being tied up. 68% of people said yes, and 32% of people said no. And let me see if I...
Well, the tied up thing for me anyway is, again, letting go of control, being totally submissive, totally vulnerable. Like, you're in a space where you cannot move, and you have to be so trusting in the person that you're with and have a lot of communication before. Have, I guess, safe words or like things. Well, this tying up was like on, I saw it posts. Yeah. Like,
well, and that's how my experiences were. I had a sex swing. Oh no, it was awesome. And we would just like unscrew the thing from the ceiling and put a fake fire, what's it called? Fire smoke alarm cover over. It was awesome. That was one thing that was super, super fun, and I loved it. So many different things you can do.
Oh yeah. Have you ever tied anybody up?
I've never tied anyone up or been tied up, actually.
Would you like to be tied up?
I think I'd be open to it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think that a lot of men kind of like that dominance and that control of like being able to tie someone up? And
I think I don't know, like, for me, I think I would like to tie a girl up too.
If she liked it.
If she liked it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not like super, but I think I'd be more into being tied. Because it's like,
I think I would like that more too, because I'm such a touchy-feely person.
And you're more dominant.
And I'm like, lay down. I got a surprise.
a lot of the experiences, and I feel like a lot of men might be scared to talk like this, but like,
yes, so
it's
good.
like,
It is.
it's sometimes nice to let a woman take control. Because a lot of like some form of gender roles is like, in a lot of ways, like, we're supposed to take control, right?
Yeah. That goes back to so much of what we talked about in the last episode too, is like the men taking the role of like the protector, the provider, like, this is your space. Yeah.
Alpha and all.
Yeah. Yes. I love that word so fucking much. Alpha is like, to me, I'm big on like manly men. Like, I'm really, which is weird that I don't love dominance so much, but
I'm comfortable and confident enough in myself and in sexually and in the bedroom where like I would be completely okay with that. I'm completely okay with talking about it all.
I love that.
you're like the perfect guest.
So like one of my best friends, we always talk like, we play a sport. I won't even get into it, but anyways, like we're talking to these younger kids. I'm like, you ever had your asshole licked? And they're like, oh no, so gross. Like, I would never let a girl touch my ass. And it's like,
You're like, grow up a little bit and you'll love it.
once a girl licks your ass once, it's different.
Hell yeah, let's talk about
Yes.
Let's talk
So many men that I've met in my older years, and I think like what you're saying, like 20s compared to like maybe 30s and 40s
Yeah.
with men. They're
men.
so much more open to ass play. And
But I think it's a confidence thing, right? Like,
well, it is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
he's probably one of the most confident people you ever meet.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like I hold myself that way too. And then there's guys that I'm friends with that are very similar age, that are very, you can tell that they would be scared to tell people that because
Because they don't want people to think that they're like gay in a way.
Yeah. And it's like, well,
That is what I hear 100%.
I don't even know why it would.
It's not gay.
Girls doing it.
Men's G-spot are in your ass.
Yeah. Women's G-spot is in our
Up and around.
up and around.
It's
And men's are up and around. Like,
Yes.
and more men should come to grips with that.
Yes.
And they would be so much happier.
And I will tell you, it is like a button
Yeah.
Like the second you touch it, it's game over.
Yeah.
It's never.
I love that you just said that. I really do.
I love that you said that. I love how vulnerable you are. I love that you're open to talking with us because, again, it's one of those things there should not be any shame behind men. Ass play is a good thing for men, especially for men. Women love it too. I like it.
Well, I think the thing is also a lot of women aren't comfortable doing it. So it's like a lot of men, that's kind of a weird thing to talk about sometimes.
Right. That's where communication comes in again.
Because like I'll say is like when they say you're getting milked, like if you hit a spot in a guy's ass, it's like a different, like you like come differently, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a lot of girls don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a very like,
I got you.
you know. So I think that's a thing too, is like a lot of guys are scared to not even scared to talk about it, but a lot of women are very scared to do that.
Do it.
Yeah. It's just opening up and within your sexuality and like being comfortable with that. And it's not for everyone, which is also fine.
Yeah.
Like, but the people who are comfortable doing it, every dude should try it. I mean, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But seriously, I have known people who have told me it's like the best orgasm they've ever had in their life.
That's all. Yeah, I've heard that. I've never had that. Actually, don't know if I've had my ass like played with, licked and stuff, but I've never been milked. You can say, that's what they call it.
Yeah. I like a little bit of ass play. Like, I don't mind that, like, finger, tongue, whatever, like, cool with that. My hard no, 100% of the time, absolutely fucking never, ever, ever, anal, never. I will never do it, ever. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. It's a hard no. If you try it again, I'll punch you in the fucking face. I'm not mean at all.
I've done anal before without the prepping, and I feel like the reason I was so hesitant about it and I didn't love it as much as I should have is because there wasn't the prepping going into it.
Yeah.
And I was very self-conscious about the obvious, right?
Yeah.
But if
Things can change really.
things can change real quick and it won't be fun anymore.
0 to 100 real fast.
But I do think I would be very much more open to it if I did prep and it was like a slow go at it and I was with a person that was like gentle about it, you know.
Probably a
But I think I could.
right guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's probably some dudes that are just like, that's probably not happening. I think, because I've never done anal a lot, like, with girls.
Man.
Like, they're just, I don't know if I've just had the wrong girls or whatever, but I've never been super into it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like,
Oh, I love that. Anytime a dude tells me that he's not super into anal, I'm like, God, I love you.
I think there's some like satisfaction of being like dominant, but like, I feel like you have a pussy there anyway.
Yeah.
It was,
I think a lot of it is that it's so taboo, then that's why men love it so much.
there's something
Because
about
they want to be that one guy that like did it with
that.
you. Yeah.
That's
Badass.
yeah. But also, I think women that know how to, because I've heard like women have to know how to release to let it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, because there's got to be, you know.
Oh, it's true. So let's go back to kinks a little bit. Let's touch more on that because that seems to be such a big thing too that a lot of people aren't comfortable talking about or doing with their partner.
Learning about other people's kinks, like your partner's kinks or whoever you're with, could actually become yours. Or you could be turned on by them.
Yes, and I love hearing about my partner's kinks.
Yeah.
I really am into pleasing big time.
Kinks develop too, right?
Right.
I feel like some people don't really know what your kinks are.
What are yours, Snapchat guy?
Yeah.
So like I've like developed some. I like actually like the anticipation of sex, like the sexting with like a girl before you like have sex.
Yeah.
Like the build up.
The build up.
Yeah.
Like, you know, before you even meet up or whatever.
Yeah.
I also like edging a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I experienced that for the first time
Like
a little while ago, and it's hot.
it's like incredibly hot. Like you can say like jerk off instructions. Like
What's that?
it's kind of like
I had to ask him that earlier because we were prepping for this and yeah.
Yeah.
it's like you know, a girl telling me like when like how fast to stroke my dick or like when to do it or faster.
That's a total sup thing.
Get to a point where it's like, oh, get yourself to about come and then stop and don't touch your dick.
Wow.
and just have those instructions. I guess I feel like I've done that a couple times, and I felt like I was like, that is like a turn on.
Okay.
That was,
I like that.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. So have you ever done that, like when a girl's giving you a blowjob? Have you ever had a girl tell you like, okay, I'm going to get you like close, but then I want you to stop with like a blowy?
no.
Just with yourself, like when you're jacking off?
When she tells, like, she's just talking to me and
Okay.
you do that all.
Yeah.
Like, even
that.
like, because for some reason, like, phone sex turns me. I feel like some people don't know how to do it.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
think I do.
That aren't very competent. So I think that's like something for me, and like, yeah, I like the buildup of sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To talk about it, but I'm very open to like doing things because I feel like learning girls' kinks that I've learned or like seen, it's like for some reason that turns me on.
Yeah.
Like it just anything like kinky, the kinkier it gets, I'm like, oh, that turns me on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've heard like, girls like want you to pee on them or something.
Mm-hmm.
Not my thing, but probably in the moment, if I'm in a
Right.
shower or something, I would probably do it and it would probably be hot.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I love.
Right.
But like,
No, that makes sense.
there's just like that. For some reason, when I'm in like,
When you're in the moment.
when
Yeah.
I'm in the moment, I'm about it.
Oh, I'm telling you, there's stuff where I've been in the moment where I'm like,
I can't.
I think about it later. I'm like, I would never have thought that up in my head.
Yeah.
In the moment, like that's so fucking hot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know I agree with you. Like the kinks can be other people's kinks.
But
Oh.
I think cosplay, like I've been very like,
Mm.
curious at that level. Like I've done like a butt plug before and stuff.
Ooh.
But like I haven't done a ton of experience.
I think that's awesome.
So you have used a butt plug?
Yeah.
That is amazing. I love that for you.
Yeah.
No, it's just, I love how you're
guys.
so open and
know?
honest.
Yeah.
And it's going to make people feel so comfortable
Mm-hmm.
in their own experimentation. And I fucking love that.
Yeah. So I think like also like with blowjobs, like I'm very, like I want a girl to like really take control.
Yeah.
Or, like
And get really into it.
get way into it. Like they're, like, because some girls will like, it's just like they're sucking on it. It's like, all right, let's
Yeah. No.
gagging and the choking and stuff. I think is like the hottest thing, like hearing it,
Yeah.
I
I can totally, yeah.
I didn't realize that until again later on in life, where I feel like a lot of men like to hear the gagging and the choking and for a while I was like, I need to be so like pristine and like not do that, and then now I'm like, they love it.
Yeah. And like girl, like ones that are scared to like slobber all over it,
Yeah.
and on it and stuff like that. Where
You can't talk about
And
this is a gross guy.
I can't do spit.
What about like when you spit on your dick to like get?
I do that. I can spit. I can play with my own
She
spit.
just can't see spit. See, and for me, I don't mind that.
She doesn't mind much.
I don't mind a lot.
Okay, it's spit. I can't even watch babies drool. Like I can't. It's
Who do you think's the
very hot right now.
You're like you're one of these.
I don't. I think there's just
It's different.
I am also very, very kinky. But again, I can't talk about kinks because like I just like everything, so it doesn't seem kinky to me. It just seems
But one like
sex.
more than others. Like you gotta like there's gotta be a list of like, hey, this is what I like more than this.
I don't know. Again, that's where I like to be dominated because I want a man to be like, I want you to go here and I want you to do this and I want you to do
be told.
But
no, but that's what I say. Like it's so hard because I'm like it's like being an introvert and an extrovert at the same time.
he doesn't like to dominate.
Have you dominated men before?
Yeah, but I never thought of it that way because it was just happening. And I didn't realize that I was such a controlling bitch until like looking back on it today. And then I'm like, yeah, fuck, whoa.
And back,
yeah.
that was actually questions for you girls. Back to ass play, like we were saying, like, will you like lick dudes' asses?
It's not like the cleanest area.
It's definitely not.
And I'm sorry, but men have funk between their balls and their asshole, like on their taint. It's like a whole other, you have to scrub for days to get that smell to go away.
Well, that's why when I feel
Days?
I feel comfortable doing it because with, like she was saying, not with everybody, but like with this certain person that I've had like really fun sexual experiences with, like we shower like we shower everything. And like, so I know that like I'm going in and like,
It's clean.
it's clean, it's good. I'm clean, I'm good. And so like, that's why I was saying like the wild, like off the handle stuff is like really fun, but also, and this is the control freak in me again, I guess, is it's like, okay, we're going to prepare now. We're going to shower. I'm going to wash my face. You're going to wash your whole body. You're going to go set up while I'm getting like in my lingerie and like in all my like fun kinky stuff. But still, it's like you were saying, like the anticipation of it, it is so exciting because I know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we can be so like real nitty gritty raw. Like I can go play with him. He can go play with me. And I feel good about it because like I know that he didn't just come from the gym and like I'm going to go lick his asshole. Like he is perfectly clean.
Yeah.
And so am I.
I think the anticipation, like your orgasms are on.
Totally.
Oh, yeah. I'm wet before like he even ties me up because of the anticipation.
Yeah.
I think I'm just kinky in a different way because like
She's still.
I've been thinking about this because
She's offended.
no, I'm not.
Offended.
She's like,
more
It's different.
I could
a different
think of anything because like I will do a lot of stuff in the bedroom, but I think that more of my kinky side comes out when like I'll go on a fucking date with somebody and then I'll call Karina and be like, yeah, I just railed this dude in the backseat of his truck. Or like he fucking fingered me in the parking lot, or he bent me over the fucking bathroom sink and then or like we went to a parking garage and he fucking bent me over the bed of his truck. Like those are more my things.
I think your kink is like
I like
public stuff and like very spontaneous things like
yes, I love spontaneous sexual interaction.
I like that a lot.
I have had sex like in cars or on cars or around cars or in fucking the restaurant, like, and it's just fucking hot. I love that shit. That's my
that's it.
There we go.
The public thing.
I love
We found it. We found it. That can be a kink to a lot of people because a lot of people aren't comfortable with that. You know?
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Yes.
For man, for women, like with like cleaning, does like hair bother you or do you
No,
sleep?
it doesn't bother me at all.
No, hair doesn't bother me. I think
Because I'm like thinking about you're licking assholes. Like men are hairy.
Yeah.
Like even if you shit.
That's another thing for me is that that's why it's not for everybody. If I'm in a relationship, I will do it, be more inclined to do it. But
right.
yeah, I don't know. What do you think about hairy pussies?
Not about it.
You're not about it?
No.
I get laser hair removal.
See, and it's funny because so many men have different opinions about that.
I struggle with hair.
Do you?
I try to shave. I used to like shave my whole body, but I don't know how you shave legs and stuff all the time.
I am Italian, so I'm a hairy person in general. And from the time I can remember, I don't like hair. So I've like always shaved and like I like to be shaved everywhere. But I've also met men that I'm with that they're like, you can grow it out a little bit. I'm like, no, thank you.
Really?
I don't want, because I don't feel comfortable with it. Like I feel more sexy when I'm completely shaved.
Yeah.
I think it's a preference though, like, because like,
I like it a little bit trimmed up. Like that would be my quote unquote preference, but hair doesn't bother me. Like pubes don't bother me.
hair on men for me doesn't bother me. Hair on me, for me, bothers me.
Same.
Like it, and if a guy likes it on me, I'll indulge them for like maybe one time. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, some girls like that. Some guys like love like.
I have, yeah.
Well, I think also the younger generation, because there have been, so the younger men that I've dated like hair on me more than men my age.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, it's because
I think a lot of the women that I've talked to, well, our generation is like,
That's weird.
well, a lot of the younger generation of women that I've talked to, I'll ask them, or they've just told me, and they trim it up, but like it's not completely shaved, and they love it. And the men that generation love it too. But like our generation, I feel like has been like no hair anywhere ever. No, thank you.
Like
And-
when I was like, I'll be 36. So like,
yeah.
I'm 40.
yeah, so rough with the same age and stuff. And it's like, I remember in high school, like, we all shaved our legs as men.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
That's interesting to hear. So you don't like hair on a woman?
No,
Yeah.
Not a fan.
not a fan.
Got it.
I'm like a cleanly led person. Like, I'm very, like, I can be grossed out kind of easily.
Nice. Are there any more kinks that you would like to talk about? Okay.
I think I'm good.
Okay. I love it. Let's talk about positions.
Okay.
I just,
What's your favorite?
my favorite is being bent over. Like bent over anywhere. Bent over a fucking couch, railing, truck bed, kitchen counter. But
There is something like bending a girl over. There's just something.
Yeah. Tell me why. Because we know why we like to be bent over. Why does a man like to do?
I'm gonna ask that. I feel like that.
Okay.
I don't know. Bent over, like, there's just something about it, like, that's aggressive. I guess.
yeah,
Dominant.
that's what I like.
Yeah.
I'm aggressive and just getting right to it, right? Like, when you fuck a girl and you just bend her over, it's like you're just in the kitchen
Yes.
somewhere and you're not gonna just like wait.
I am biting my.
Is that like? Like, tell me more.
Like,
Oh, we know.
see, and I like storytelling sexually, like hosting and storytelling.
Oh yeah, you like the buildup of it.
Yeah.
Like you like
So, like,
yeah.
I'm good at like explaining it, I guess you can say.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Dirty talk.
So here's my thing with dirty talk. I love when men dirty talk to me. I don't like to dirty talk back. It's usually I'm fucking reading a book and I'm just like, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want it too. I'm so fucking hot right now.
Can we talk about that? Because I feel like so many women will resonate with this and so many men will be like, oh my God, I'm so offended.
Sexting?
Yeah.
Or even phone sex. There have been times that I'm like, oh my God, yeah, baby, I love it so much. Like sweeping the floor, vacuuming.
I will be like vacuuming, wrangling my children, and he'll like send me a text. He's like, da-da-da. I'm like, nah. And I'm like, touching myself. I'm so wet right now. And, but like,
See, okay, but there are times.
Yeah.
Get really into it.
at night.
See,
our kids are in bed.
I feel like there is. I've noticed that, like with women, women can like talk sexual and like not like get themselves off.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's harder for men. Like for me, I'm like, I don't want to sex you unless I'm gonna go jack off or something. Right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, what's the point?
A lot of women get themselves off.
Yeah.
Seeing that might be something too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, 100% of the women in this room cannot get themselves.
well, I'm gonna say this is like when you're dating someone or something, I think it's like extremely hot when I'm like working and I get a message like
Oh, see, I do love that.
that shit.
I do love the random shit throughout the day, but I can't spend my whole fucking day sexting someone. I'm like, okay, this has been fun. I can't anymore.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that gets old, right?
Yeah.
You can only sex so many things.
Right?
I want to get back to the being bent over.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, sex positions.
Yeah.
When a guy is like, okay, I'm on my back. A guy is like upright in between my legs and has one knee tucked into the side and the other leg like fully like extended out like this. And it's like in this situation. It's an angle that like has never been explored before.
I remember you telling me about your first time with that, and I was like, yeah, that is the thing.
I had never, and then I did. So those are the two that I just love. I mean, missionary is also I really like missionary because I love eye contact that we touched on earlier.
Yeah.
And so if I'm with somebody they're really into and they know what they're doing, missionary can be really, really good. What about you?
I think missionary is super intimate, super vulnerable, and I like it. It doesn't hit for me as often as like dog. I love doggy style. Love it.
Yeah, it's really good.
But then one of my also favorite positions is when they have me on my side. So picture this on my
I know
side,
exactly what you're talking
but
about.
then like my leg up around their neck and like going in from the side, like kind of like a semi-doggy style, I guess, but it just hits differently.
Yeah.
And it feels so good. And also they are in the position to maybe play with your clit a little bit or your boobs or something. And you can, like, he can lean down and like kiss me a little bit.
I really like kissing during sex too.
I do too. I think it's, if somebody doesn't kiss me during sex, I'm like, no, I don't love it.
I'm big on kissing, which is weird because
I love making out. What are you talking about?
I love making out.
I love a good make out.
That is a nice way to turn me on.
If it starts like with a good make out session, like you guys can like kiss and make out while you're having sex too, and it's not about that. Like, oh, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
But that's probably one of my favorite positions. And then I'm trying to think the leg up. But you remember when you told me the one leg up? And then I told you both legs up, like he's holding both.
Yeah, so I had done that multiple times. That one I've done.
I love that one.
Yeah, it is good. But ever since I found the like check mark, it's really not like that.
It's like a
It seriously is, and it's like the fucking best. Can I guess what yours is? Did you tell me earlier? Okay, can I guess what yours is?
What?
Is it reverse cowgirl?
oh,
You might be the first man I've ever talked to that hasn't said it.
You said that you were an ass man. I would have.
so I like it alright, but like for some reason, like this man, I don't want to sound weird, but like my legs are big, so a lot of girls like have a hard time.
Oh, hey, that makes sense.
Like I don't know, that sounds weird, but it's like when I'm like this, they have like this hard time sometimes.
No, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, and I'm just gonna put this in here really quick because it has to go back to the polls and the people that we've asked, and not the people, the men that we have asked about what their favorite position is. 100% of men for me said, no, that's not true. I would say 90% of men for me have said reverse cowgirl, and the other 10% said doggy style.
I would have to.
Cowgirl has to be the girl though. Like
I fucking hate reverse cowgirl.
I
has to
don't
be
like
the girl, like
cowgirl.
well, like knowing what she's doing.
Well, it doesn't feel good.
It just for me, it's just like I don't know. I've never
Reverse cowgirl.
definitely I've had my moments, but
Yeah. It turns into, so I can do reverse cowgirl for a while. I can like write it, but then it turns into, okay, it's not feeling great for me. And then I end up going on like kind of standing up and then like going like bouncing.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
you're like, okay, how long do I have? How long do I have before my legs give out? And I'm just like a sweaty mess. Like,
there is like positions where you can tell like your partner's not quite feeling it as much.
yes,
Like because
you're a good listener.
especially like with women, like they're
Yeah.
love moaning. Girls that moan.
That's another thing we talked about.
I'm a screamer.
Like that's my favorite. Like right,
Yeah.
but you can tell because I feel like you can tell how good you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Real.
No,
It's like a rate.
It is a total indicator. If
Yeah, it's like I think most girls don't like reverse cowgirl because it's very like
Well, and it's a very vulnerable position too.
No,
I mean, you're staring at our asshole. You're looking at our back rolls. That doesn't mean I don't do it because I do.
I like what you just
I've did.
Snapchat guy with like listening, because a lot of what I got from men and women is like, I like my men to be vocal, and I feel like a lot of men like their women to be vocal as well. And if you can tell like the fluctuation in her moans and like what she's liking and what she's not liking, like the guy that I'm hanging out with right now, we were talking about it after, and he's like, I could tell when you were really liking it because you have a different,
There's a different level.
it's a different level of when you're like when I'm really, really hitting it right. And when you're just like, I'm enjoying it the whole time, but he's like, I can tell when like I'm hitting it and you're like about to come.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's what I love.
Yeah, there's a level like you can tell when you like hit it to a certain level where like, and that girl's really.
Yes.
I love dirty talk. I also feel like it's maybe a skill in some form.
Totally.
Yeah.
Having like being able to be descriptive and be able to like talk dirty and like have it sound natural.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, because there have been a few times where
Like
guys will say something to me, I'm like, I can't even say anything back. I'm like, oh no.
I know. I was trying to think of an example and I can't. It's just like you either have it or you don't.
see,
Yeah.
I think, and you, I hope this doesn't offend you, girl. I don't know, but like there is something dirty. Like I like that girls are like call themselves sluts or want me to call them sluts.
Yeah. I have found a lot of men like that, or they're like, you're my dirty little slut and
Yeah.
you're my whore. And I'm just like,
And girls tell me to like treat me like a cum slut or something. I'm just like,
I'm your cum dumpster.
Stuff like that. Like,
It is fucking dirty. It's nasty, and men love it.
what?
I personally don't love it. I do love being called like good girl or like a naughty girl.
I love that.
I
love that. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm your good girl, or yeah, I'm your naughty girl. I've been bad or something like that. Like, I'll do that. But like the whole cum dumpster thing, or like, I
feel it's way too.
or like even calling me a slut, like, I don't love that. For me, it's not for everyone. It's just my point of view. But I know a lot of women that do like that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And for me,
It's just not mine.
and this sounds weird. It's like there's certain girls that like I've had sex with that just like bring that out in me. I want that, where it's like, and then there's like certain girls that, you know, you just have like certain different sexual connections to certain people.
Absolutely.
And for me, sometimes it's not the most attractive person. Like, I'm attracted to him clearly, but like I wouldn't like I'm not like sometimes I'm more attracted to someone else, but like the sex is like feels dirtier with this person.
Yeah.
Does that, you ever?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, I'm not as attracted to you. I probably wouldn't like go on a lot of dates with, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe there's something.
But this said no fire.
There's something filthy about you for some.
That's what we want to hear,
really
is a male perspective on that too, because I feel like women, we have that as well, but like hearing it from men, like, okay, like you may be more attracted to another girl for other reasons, but like the sex is just so good and so dirty with this girl that you like fucking love it.
And I feel like a lot of people,
And that's a really good thing to think about, too.
yeah, what's weird is and sometimes for me, it's usually like, it's girls that I'm like, you know, I've had from where like, she's not even that hot, dude. Like, you know, stuff like that, where it's like, there's certain things like when it comes to like being dirty that like will draw me.
Just hits you right.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So between like those two girls, who would you want to have a relationship with more?
The other girl, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, it's almost like a looks over personality thing, honestly. Like,
Because for me, it's like, but it's, so I haven't had like a lot of, I haven't dated a ton like seriously. Like I've been married before, but like, not like, you know, like there's certain girls where like there's like, we'll take to another level sexually.
yeah.
But like, I'm not super into anything.
It's just the sex.
Yeah.
Let me ask you another question.
But I'm not gonna like date a girl that I'm not sexually. Like, I feel like,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, there has to be that
Either-
compatibility.
Yeah, and that chemistry.
that got to a point where we were just best friends. Where
Yeah.
There's no sex.
That's not
where,
fun.
Where it's just like, you know, and the half, I think that there just wasn't, it just wasn't there.
And that's the hard part.
I don't even know why. She was,
No, and that's the thing. Like,
she had a great body, and it was just like, it just wasn't.
you just have a vibe with somebody sometimes, and sometimes you don't. Like, there's nothing wrong with them or you. There's nothing wrong with them or with you. Like, and that's the thing, going back to the whole dating thing, is you don't always have to be with that person that you go on a date with. You can have different chemistry with different people, and it doesn't always have to work out. But going back to the whole dirty talk and stuff like that, I've always told myself, lady in the street, freak in the sheets.
Yep.
Like,
If anything could define you, it would be that saying.
okay, that's what I pride myself on.
Because I hear like what you've told me, and then I see you. Yeah, you definitely look like
Oh, she's a very classy.
classy, put together woman, and then you're like,
She got the nickname Fancy, like when we went to California, because she is just so fucking put together all the time and always looks like $1 million.
I will say, like, positions, if I throw this in here, like, for some reason, like, I like 69. And you can kind of rub their pussy with it.
Yes. So, what's your favorite sex position? We didn't even get to that because we went off on reverse couch. Well, no, like,
Like, I like,
nice.
I don't know, like, I like doggy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, for some reason, I like eating pussy, like, from the back.
I mean,
I like,
it's fucking
going out and, like, you know, but, like, I mean, missionaries are real good, too. Like,
right?
I feel like a lot of people don't, like, missionaries is missionary, but it's still, like,
It's so intimate. Yes.
but it's also when you can actually, like, as a guy, you can really get some momentum.
So I really love missionary, but I also like eye contact, so it makes
But I
sense.
like standing off the bed while I'm standing and girls legs over my shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Love that.
So sometimes that's like depending on the bed you have. You have to have like the right height.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't be too tall.
Is there anything else you guys want to add?
I don't think so. I think this was a really, really fun episode.
It was really, really fun. It was really, really good. I cannot stress enough how much we appreciate you coming here and hanging out with us tonight.
Fun.
I am so glad that you had a good time. We had a lot of fun. It was so nice to get your perspective on things. Because we're just a couple chicks who are trying to like get feedback from dudes, but it's so much better when we actually have someone here to talk about it with, right?
Yeah.
So we really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, do you have anything else to say, Karina?
No, I just love you.
I also love you so much. One thing I did want to touch on is just because we don't necessarily like something or we like give a certain kind of reaction about anything that we talked about tonight, that does not mean that we're shaming or judging anybody for liking that. We are so incredibly open sexually. We really appreciate when people do have their own sexuality and are into their own zone of things. Just because it isn't for us does not mean that we are shaming or looking down on anyone in any kind of way.
Everyone has their own kinks.
Yes. And that's exactly right. And I really, really just wanted to preface that. If you are going to hook up with somebody for the first time, or if you're just having a one-night stand, or if it's someone that you've known for a while but haven't talked to in a minute, make sure your best friend has your location. 100% of the time, make sure that they know where you're going. If it's not your best friend, your mom, your cousin, whoever, just make sure that you're always staying safe and that your best friend always has your location. Send a picture, send the location, and let them know exactly where you're going and what you're doing, how long you'll be. Whatever. If you do not feel comfortable in anything that you are doing sexually, use your voice. Make it known that you are not okay with what's going on.
Yes.
Put a hard stop. Tell people, your sexual partners, tell them your hard no's. Don't ever feel like you have to do anything that you're not comfortable with. It's just so important to use your voice.
It is. Communication, for sure.
Communication is just so big. Don't feel bad about telling somebody that you don't like something.
Intuition.
Yeah.
If your intuition is telling you no, go with it.
Go with your gut 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I love you so much, Karina.
I love you too, Shan.
Ba-ba-da-da.
To whoever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worry. I get it, the odds can stack back against the wall, but even consider it such, no, you'll stand.